Hello everyone, good morning. So today I have a special guest, a very smart student from Algerian student from Batma, right? So her name is Soumia Bouaouina. Soumia Bouaouina. She will be very soon an engineer and in computer science, artificial intelligence, with a master's degree as well. So welcome, Soumia.
Welcome.
So could you please introduce yourself?
Of course. So Soumia Bouaouina, final year student at the Higher National School of Artificial Intelligence. And yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. For now.
Very short, very.
So for now, yes.
So Soumia, Soumia was introduced to me by a friend of mine who is Professor Boujema, Aka, also known as Murad, aka Murad, and he is a professor in mechanical engineering, energy transfer, and a lot of fields in mechanics. So you got a recommendation from him. So why did you choose computer science?
Computer science or artificial intelligence?
That will be the following question.
Okay, because it's kind of like correlated. Like since high school, I was like interested in mathematics and all like mechanical things, kinda. I was like interested by mathematics, physics, and everything. And like step by step, I started like figuring out that I like computer science. It was like not how to say it, not like ambitious, not like passion, but I just was curious about the field. I want to discover how things are going there, how things are working, and that's pretty much it for computer science at first. Yes, like for the back, I was like had the goal to do the Higher National School of Computer Science.
In Algiers.
Yes, in Algiers.
Just for people to... ENSIA is the prestigious university or the highest level university of artificial intelligence in Algeria. Right?
ENSIA, yes.
ENSIA. So why artificial intelligence?
Why I chose the school, it was also out of curiosity. Like, as I told you, I wanted to do EASY, the Higher National School of Computer Science. And in my year, it was the year where they opened our school. So there were a hype, like a lot of news. They were trying to promote the school and everything. I was like focused on exams and back. However, I tried to look a little bit what's artificial intelligence. It was totally new for me. I've never like been into the kind of things. And I found it very interesting, new. Could be they were saying that it has future, and I did it because of curiosity. It was a new school. The news about it was good enough to engage in it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, what is artificial intelligence? You know, it's the first time for me to conduct an interview about artificial intelligence. It was on my plan. My schedule of interviews or discussions, but anyway, you are helping me to begin as soon as possible. So what is artificial intelligence?
It's kind of complicated to explain it directly because the question is a bit like direct definition. However, we can say that the artificial intelligence will be replacing the tasks or doing the tasks that the human can or cannot do. For example, if we take any field and we look for the tasks that the human do, for a given instance, if we like talk about different aspects, for example, the time that those tasks takes, the complexity, for a certain extent, those tasks will be complex that the human cannot do, or it will be like simply very complicated for them. If we include a lot of data, if we have this kind of aspects of complexity of aspects, here we have artificial intelligence. So we can't define directly what does it do, because it's too vast, depends on the fields, depends on the specialties of it. However, we can say that it does the complicated tasks that the human cannot do, or to do them in place of him.
Good. So, as I'm the manager or maybe a director or that, I have the responsibility to manage or to organize all the events related to artificial intelligence in the University of Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm the head of this laboratory. Okay, so the main responsible. From my experience, my own experience, people think that artificial intelligence, you just push the button, you got the result, which is wrong.
Yes.
And people are quite lazy. They don't want to study mathematics, they don't want to study computer science, and they think it's like ChatGPT, which is a black box. It's
exactly.
It's a key in hand, could you please explain to people so they can understand?
Like from my background, when people ask me about AI, they think that it's only that you give data and you click a button and you get like a magical results, or they think also that it's robotics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's robots, it's machines. It's not that. But the hardware side, it includes AI, but it's not that. It's not only that.
Mm-hmm.
So AI is what to do in AI. The fuel of AI is data. So we have a task to do, to predict wherever it is generation. For example, if you talk about GPT, it's a specialty, it's one aspect, it's one task, it's NLP, natural language processing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing.
Natural language processing.
Yes, NLP. It's like a whole big, like infinite field from AI. So that's one kind. To get to do ChatGPT, it's not one click. It's like not 100 millions of data of NLP data. Yes, books, the search engines results, like all the amount of text, of knowledge that you can imagine was fed to that model, if we can use the term model, to get it to be able to generate that. It's a whole, like when you click on ChatGPT, it feels like it's instant, but it's because of the power of hardware they have. So their GPUs and everything.
And the cloud, right?
Yes, yes, depending for each. Yeah. So
for data centers that consume a lot of energy,
exactly.
Like water and all that.
Yeah. So if you wanna run a model, NLP model, to generate on your PC, it will take ages, and there you'll figure out that it's not that simple. It's a lot of work to generate that thing. So it's not an instant generation. It's not that easy. It's complicated. If we just talk about GPT, if we talk about another thing, for example, I don't know, prediction. If we talk about prediction of, I don't know, for example, the cost of something, or forecasting, or in the meteor or something like this, there also it's not that simple. Like to be able to get those results, first we go by the step of the data. The data that you have, it needs to be clean, it needs to be processed, it needs to go into different stages, feature engineering, you need to extract things, you replace, and like all the majority of the time, we will have problems in our data. So it's not gonna be straightforward to use the data that you got directly from your experience or whatever. So it's a whole process in data, and there you try different models, we have different models, you need to pick the ones related to your task, and then when you apply those models, you need to modify, they have parameters, so it's a whole thing.
I know, it's very complicated.
Yes.
So, you really have to be very good at mathematics,
exactly.
And very good at programming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's generative AI? I'm an architect, basically. I'm an architect. We use generative AI to maybe generate images, generate some types of architectures, and build architecture. So what's generative AI?
If we talk about this, like generating images, generating text, like GPT is generative AI also. Like the, if we can say, the models that generate things, like the output is not that, it's not like just prediction, or it generates things, it generates, how to say it?
Creates.
Yes, it creates, whatever it's text, video, pictures, what could it be? Tasks. These is generative AI. So to give the ability to the model
To make things. Keep going.
depends on the model. So if we are talking about NLP, it's not like images. It's not like to give the ability to that model to generate text, picture. This is generative AI.
So does the type of mathematics the same in generative AI and maybe NLP?
Well, in NLP is also generative AI.
Okay.
NLP is
other
a
kinds.
field. It's not. It's a field, and generative AI is the. It's not a field. It's like an aspect. You can think of it from the output of it. What was your question?
You forgot.
Yes, I got to explain things.
Okay, I did confuse you. So the type of mathematics
The type of
we use in generative AI,
exactly,
and maybe another AI used in physics or use it in other field. Is it the same?
If we,
It's basically linear algebra. Right?
Linear algebra, yes.
I know. I think I'm quite good.
When we talk about like different tasks of AI, we can say it's not exactly, but we can say it's the same mathematics aspect. So linear algebra and everything, statistics. Yes, a lot of statistics. Yes, but if we compare it to different fields, like we go out of AI, of course it's not gonna be the same. But like in the models, it's quite the same. Linear algebra, statistics, probabilities.
Basically statistics. So for example, in data science, really statistics and probabilities are the main
statistics
background,
yes.
right?
With all its complications, statistics like a big stage, like a big portion of stages of the AI. Like if we talk about it as a pipeline, is like reserved with statistics. Like you need it in all the stages.
You know, the main obstacle or main problem I got when I first went to Japan, because in my age, my generation, statistics were not included in the curriculum of studies. I mean, mainly it was barely for those who studied technology, like who like engineering, just barely a part of mathematics, mathematical course. So when I went to Japan, they were very good at statistics, and that was found very difficult, especially it was in Japanese. And then when I improved my English, I began to realize that statistics is really very, not just important, it's the core of research, core of everything. So that's what the lack we have in Algeria. We have to teach statistics, the basic statistics, probably to understand what data mean, how can we deal with data and billions and even a small amount of data. So I have a question. I forgot the question about so what kind of mathematics we need in AI to be good, to begin with AI?
I told you like linear algebra, to be able to understand the models, like the
this is for people to
yes, the mathematical basis of the models, to be able like directly to get to know what is it. But because if we say it from the outside, it's a black box, as you just said. Like if we talk about the deep learning models or this kind of things, it's a black model if you try to see it from a programming way. If you want to use like libraries to run your model on your data, you just call like functions, they're classified whatever, and you got the result. But like to be able to understand what happens to your data, like the stages that your data go through. If you wanna enhance your model, what to do, what to modify, like, because when you call models or when you use model, you have different types of parameters. To be able to modify each or to know which one to choose, to interpret, because like explainability is very important in a lot of tasks. To be able to understand this kind of aspects, you need to understand, not in depth, but it's good. But you need the linear algebra or the mathematical base of each model, of each algorithm. We can say for each algorithm, it has its base model. So yes, they have like formulas for each output. They have like
you generate the formula or the
look. We have models. For example, if we talk about, I would like to get the example of random first, but it's different. If we take, for example, if we take linear regression, just a simple one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's formula. It's a linear formula, polynomial. Yes. It's like we have this equation, and we built on it our model. If we talk about deep learning, if we talk about the neural networks, it's different. It's not linear. It's complicated equations. So yes, you have the equations, and for example, when you modify how to learn in that networks, we need the gradients to calculate the error and everything. So the equations are fixed, kind of fixed, with the like you modify or you learn the parameters, but the equations for each algorithm, they're fixed. We can
I see. So now I go back to computer science and programming, which is the basis of
how to use it.
You know, in my generation, I began programming in 1986. I was in high school, second year high school. So we began with the basic language. We had to make number one, input something, and go to, and
what was the language?
Basic. In French, basique.
Okay.
You don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like it's the basis of Visual Basic.
Okay.
You know, at the time it was 64K. That's all of memory. I had a computer MSX.
Right.
You know, it's anyway. It's technology wasn't that strong or that deep or that the evolution of technology at that time wasn't that great anyway. So and then from what my friends when I talk about most of my friends who work with C or maybe you have like 20 years ago they had to program each line, each point in the program. What you see on the screen, if it's graphic or every single detail. But nowadays, what I see, for example, I work with R language for statistics. I do it in my research. Sometimes with Python. I mean, that era of program everything, which is complicated, takes a lot of time, it's gone forever. Now we work with libraries. It's just instruction. You go to the library has a full of
functions,
which is good. And now it's quite a graphic coding. You just link some boxes, interfaces, right? I use another term. Interfaces that works. They use it in programming. For example, we have the Grasshopper, or maybe in Revit, or to describe it for architecture. You just link the interfaces, and you got some form generated, which is good. But the problem, in my opinion, it's like what a friend of mine who is a programmer, he said, like, we were too close to the machine before. Now we are very far.
True.
So we don't know what's going on within the interfaces.
True.
Do you think it's okay? We have a gain of time. We won't waste a lot of time, energy, but I think it's kind of risky.
It is risky.
Risky because if we don't know what after 20 years, nobody would know that how can we make an interface?
Exactly, or it's gonna be like reserved for people who understand it.
Yes.
In this, I believe that we need, of course, to use the technologies that we had to simplify things, do things and our tasks quickly, but I do believe that we always need to understand things from the basics. If you are, I don't know, like it's different from when you are a user and you are a developer or a specialist in that field. So especially if you are a computer science student or AI student or a technical student, like going from like to access directly those tools will take you to be a user. Like you're no longer an expertise in that thing. So if you need like really, like even if you are not a technical student, for example in your case or in physics case or whatever, when you really need to understand things to be able to develop things.
I want to understand things and I want to develop things. Yeah.
Exactly. If you want to develop things, if you want to adapt things to your tasks, to your field, if you want to like move forward to be able to develop that thing, you cannot just keep seeing it from the outside for just to use it. You need to understand the basics. Yes, we of course we don't say that we need to write line by line. We don't say that you need to neglect the libraries, but you need to understand at least what you are using. Like when you for example in R, if you just call functions to get your statistics or to be able to calculate the significance or the statistical tests of yours, and what else? Like to certain level, you won't be able to interpret. You won't be able to do more. You won't be able to modify, to adapt, and even like for your knowledge, it's gonna be limiting. It's gonna be too limiting. So yes, I believe that always we need to go back to the basics to understand how things are going.
Well, in my case, as an architect or maybe some people are physicists or chemistry or mathematics, I can understand that. But for in your case, in your studies, do you go into details of interfaces? Libraries? Because you are in the field, within the field,
yes.
Within the core.
Exactly. It depends. Like, for example, we used R. We didn't go very deep into it. We have studied the theoretical basics of it, and then when you can just use R to a certain point without getting to understand how it was developed, like that function, how it's the function code. But in different like modules or in different fields, for example, in deep learning, machine learning, in data mining, in like in the very basics when we studied programming in C, when we needed to do OOP and everything, we got into details, and it was like before the hype of GPT and for the generative AI. We had to go into details, and that like from third year it was a bit different. We started to be more lazy. And it was and like I did it. I like was impacted by that, and I can say that it wasn't good. It takes you to be more lazy, to minimize your understanding. It's not good. Like, yes, I agree that we don't need to understand all the details, and especially if that aspect of that field is not your expertise. But in your expertise, you need to understand things in detail, and we did in some of them.
So for a beginner in the field, or for example, I have to say for freelancer. Wants to begin from zero, but to begin with correct steps, and that can take you further. In mathematics, he has to study linear algebra and statistics and probability. Probability, okay. How about which language shall we begin with? Except Python. Python nowadays is.
It depends if you want to be a developer or just a developer or an AI engineer or data analyst. Like it depends. You can see it from different. As a freelancer, for example, or the output of what you will be doing, you need to specify what you will do. You can, but you can just like say, I've been an AI engineer by myself. That will take you a long time because you will understand, you will learn many things, many paths, many specialties. But for example, if you say that I'll be ML engineer, ML specialist.
Machine learning.
Yes, machine learning specialist. If you wanna to specify from the end, data analyst, specialist, or for example, I don't know, deep learning, NLP, I don't know, CV, computer vision. Like you need to set the goal because at a certain moment it will be very vast. It will have, yes, like a lot of knowledge that will take you years, maybe you can say, if you are committed and dedicated. But yes, like you need to specify the goal to be able to put limits and to fix the path. So, but as a start, you have to understand the mathematical knowledges. You don't go to study linear algebra as a whole science, but linear or mathematics in AI. Mathematics, yes, it will be different. It will narrow down things, and it will be more helpful to not get you to study things that you don't need. After that, after the mathematical base, you need to get to understand how to deal with the data. But before the data, we need to be introduced to programming. In programming, as I told you again, if you just want to be from the outside, depending on the specialty they will do, I believe that Python is enough. If you don't want to do things in parallel, for example, like if we take C or C Sharp or I don't know, JavaScript, you won't need it in this field. You need it to do maybe, I don't know, different tasks, but in this field, I don't see that it's important. Unless you want to understand different aspects of programming or algorithms, or like for your understanding, not for the field. However, Python, R, but Python's gonna be good enough, are enough to get you to the field. And then when you Python, you don't just learn how to do general things, how to call functions. Depending on your goal, you see how to deal with the data, the libraries used when you deal with the data, how to do statistical things in Python, for example. And later on, after they have to learn how to deal with the data, we go to another step, how to deal with your features, how to move forward to take your data to another stage. And after we deal with the data, you need to understand the models, different types of models, depending on your output, when to choose each one. And we go from machine learning to deep learning to most...
It's a long way to...
Yes, so you just can't learn everything.
So last question.
Yes.
How about the cybersecurity?
Mm-hmm.
Well, cybersecurity is, I now realize, is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
First, it's important to know the basics, to know the logic of hackers,
mm-hmm.
their techniques, and how to protect yourself. Does artificial intelligence can help us in this field to be protected?
Yes, it helps to be protected. However, when we talk about cybersecurity and attacks and how to protect you as citizen, we all need to have some basics, regardless of AI. We keep AI besides this for now. You need to know how the attackers will attack you. How will they find your vulnerabilities? Where to attack you in your daily tasks. For example, if you have a computer, you need to know that you don't need to do short password. You don't need to write it in a paper and put it. There's a lot of, for example, if a link was sent to you through social media, you don't have to open it. There's a basics that we all need.
Procedures,
yes, to understand, to have. However, when we talk about AI, maybe it's going to be a further stage where in each situation, for example, if if we were talking about not hackers, but for example, to steal a car, how the attackers will do that. To get to your office, how the attackers will do that. To take a task from this, we can use AI in it. For example, in your phone or in your browser, when you get like different notifications or something like this. Or for example, when we talk about the email, how they classify spam, not spam. When you have specific tasks like this, for example, to classify spam, not spam, we need to use AI. But on a daily basis, maybe you will use generative AI to get to know the basics or in your daily tasks. I see.
So can you use generative AI to know the basics?
Yes, to ask about how what was the latest, for example, vulnerabilities found, where you will need to update your browser, to update your operating system, to update an app, like
within your computer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you can ask AI, generative AI, check.
There are like platforms where they put the latest vulnerabilities, where they put the latest attacks. And the generative AI will have access to that knowledge base. So, like, to be easy and accessible for everyone in in Darja or in any different language, you can use AI. So, just to be as an intermediary between you and that knowledge bases.
So I took too much from your time. Sorry.
It's fine.
Thank you for your time.
It's fine. Yes.
And it was a pleasure to talk to you today. This will be the first video interview with you. There will be 2 more within this week, I hope. So we'll see you on next Wednesday for your keynote. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Say hi to people.
Hi and bye.
Bye bye.
See you.
See you.